Okay, I wanted to talk about the Fallout TV series that is on Amazon Prime, and I know I really, really took my time getting around to seeing it because I just the other day finally finished watching the entire first season. So, fair warning, this video contains like a lot of spoilers. So, if you don't want any spoilers, just turn off the video now. Now, as like I said, I really took my time getting into to actually getting around to watching this, and the main reason why I did this was because I had a lot of low hopes for it. Because whenever a video game is translated to a television series, generally it's really, really awful. With one notable exception, The Witcher. The Witcher turned out to be actually really, really good. But this translation of video game to television series, Fallout, was actually done very, very well. And I really, really liked it. It was actually good and made me very thankful that this that such a translation can be done, and really, really left me wanting more at the very, very end. That very last scene of the the series on the last episode, where you see the guy using the jetpack on the power armor to basically go towards New Vegas. So it looks like New Vegas is going to be in the next season of Fallout, if there is going to be another one, and I cannot wait to see that. And that actually is going to answer some questions like exactly who was it that won the Battle of Hoover Dam, because what's happening right now in the series is takes place after the Battle of Hoover Dam, and the New California Republic was destroyed. Shady Sands was nuked into the ground. So what we're going to do is we're going to find out what the canon is for who won the second battle for Hoover Dam. And in my opinion, because I don't know what they're going to do, in my opinion, it's got to be Mr. House that won. Of all the paths that you could take, it looks like it's going to be Mr. House that eventually end up winning, because you can tell when from when the father is running away and he's going to contact remnants of what Vault Tech was planning, turn management, and Robert House being one of those guys who was in like the original room when all of this was created before the war. I mean, that's clearly who he's going for in New Vegas, because it was the only one, you know, who was a part of that whole plot. Because apparently, according to the series, it was Vault-Tec who dropped the bombs. Although we've been told by the creators that it was actually China who did it, or China who fired the first shot. So if he's going there, he's got to be going to Robert House. And if the Legion won, House would be dead, or dead even before the battle, because you would have done it as a part of working for Izar anyway. The NCR wouldn't be controlling the place because the NCR is gone. It's already been destroyed. So there is no NCR. So the only two options left are the Courier leaving the whole thing completely independent, or Robert House being in control. See, the thing is, if it's the Courier who ended up just making the whole thing free and independent, using all the military robots for himself, then you would have to deal with the Courier when dealing with Mr. House in the series. And I don't think they're going to do that. Because then now you've created a specific lore for the Courier when there's not supposed to be one. Because it's supposed to be a role-playing element. And then if you start making official things for it, you've undermined that. So in my opinion, it has to be Mr. House in the end that actually does end up controlling New Vegas. And that's who the father is going to at the end. One of the things that was interesting was that there was a female protagonist with a black protagonist, a black male protagonist. And, there's the herder, the woke thing, which there really wasn't that much of with this series as, like, say, Star Wars. One, because Fallout was never as big as Star Wars, but I think people have partially gotten used to the idea by now that yes, there is white people and black people together in the same thing, and yes, I know there's a white woman black man kiss, and that really makes you mad, etc. But I mean, Fallout was always, like, woke, so it's not like anything was actually changed there. That's the way it's actually always been. It's interesting that when you look at all of the vault dwellers, they're pretty much all imperfect. There's ones that are really, really short. There are ones that are overweight. There are ones that are old, and the body types are all not the idealized versions. They look very much like just regular everyday people, except for having clear skin because obviously there's makeup put on for a television show. But that is an interesting way of going about it. Although I do find it difficult to accept that there would be like really fat vault dwellers, considering that the diet would be very, very tightly controlled. And there wouldn't be much in the way of food that would actually cause you to be overweight. But I do appreciate the putting regular everyday people inside the vaults and not just, strictly, usually what you do with television shows is you get the TV version of ugly, where it's like this really, really attractive person, and then you just portray them as being ugly. Uh, Probably the best example of that I've seen was, I don't know if people remember the show Ugly Betty from way, way back, like the early 2000s, where America Ferrera was an incredibly attractive woman, but slightly heavier than what is the supreme idealized body type, was portrayed as being ugly and unattractive. But she was actually really, really good looking. But then, like, so you're holding up this, like, oh, this is ugly. This is ugly. So, you as a regular person who doesn't look anything like this, you must be really, really bad. It's that unrealistic expectation kind of thing that they put in, and that I'm glad Fallout did use regular, like, everyday looking people. Nothing, no Superman, no Dwayne Johnson or anything like that to represent like an average vault dweller, which probably wouldn't even be the case. Um, One thing I've just wanted to nitpick. I mean, the aesthetic was dead on. Whoever was in charge of doing the aesthetic or was in charge of supervising the aesthetics, they did an absolutely fantastic job. They nailed it right down. Absolutely perfect. The way the products looked, the way the Pip Boy functioned. Oh, there seemed to be like a wireless ability to them, which isn't, as far as I know, in the lore outside of Fallout 76. Which Fallout 76, the developer just said, just forget whatever's in there. Nothing in 76 is canon. The buildings, the architecture, the people's clothes, the technology, everything was like the one thing I would nitpick is that the cars did not look like the cars from the game. Instead, they were like just 1950s cars or 1950s, 1960s cars, like Fords. But there wasn't the super futuristic looking ones that you see in the actual games. They didn't show up. There is the one car held by the main character that's in the past before the war. With he's got the car with the door that slides into itself to open and close instead of like that or like that. It slides into itself. Which okay, yeah, I would take that as being a Fallout car, but the actual design is really just 1950s, 1960s Fords. So I would say that they didn't do the cars right, but that would be my only like real nitpick for that. Um, in there is the Brotherhood of Steel, which I don't know, but were they intending to make the Brotherhood of Steel look like a bunch of assholes? Because that's kind of exactly what happened. The they made the Brotherhood like literally not care about the squires as though they were disposable or something. And they made them seem like they really weren't trying to be altruistic in any way. I know the original Brotherhood of Steel wasn't meant to be altruistic, they were just meant to control technology, but they went kind of fairly far in this one, just making them out to be just complete assholes. And in the last episode, when they end up fighting that commune of people left over from the NCR, um, watching these like half-starved, peasant farmers going up against a T-60 power armor and then just like kicking their asses is just like completely ridiculous in my view. That that battle between the commune and the Brotherhood of Steel was completely ridiculous. I'm sorry, but a load of T-60 power armor against, like farmers, those farmers wouldn't have stood a chance. They would have been completely crushed. Instead, it was like a big, costly thing that killed both sides. I guess, although I do understand maybe aesthetically what they were going for, and that the idea of that war never changes and that war is meaningless and it's costly for everybody, and that it doesn't accomplish anything kind of thing. Now it's a tragedy for everyone involved. And maybe that's what they were going for, but it just came off as kind of ridiculous that they would even stand a chance against the Brotherhood, considering, the Brotherhood actually came in with vertibirds with miniguns, which probably could have, those miniguns alone could have flattened all of the farmers anyway. So they kind of made the Brotherhood out to look like really, really weak, like really weak, untrained fighters inside of power armor. It was kind of nuts. And the one thing, the ghoul. If the goal was to make you hate the ghoul throughout the series, mission accomplished. Like, I just hate that ghoul so much. Just from everything he did, to the way he talked to people, to the way he treated people. I just wanted him to die so badly. And that one moment outside the Super Duper Mart where Lucy could have shot him in the head and killed him and gotten rid of him, she didn't do it, to prove that she was better than him by giving him the Rad-X so that he didn't turn into a feral ghoul. And that's another thing. They decided to change the lore to, a ghoul will not turn feral if they keep taking Rad-X. And if they stop taking Rad-X, then they turn feral, which is not how it works in the games at all. When you turn feral, you just turn feral and that's it. So they kind of bungled that one. But now the fact that the next season, if there's going to be one, basically has to take part in New Vegas. I mean, that I'm really, really looking forward to that. I really want to see New Vegas in this, the next show. That would be absolutely phenomenal. So that's going to do it for my thoughts on the Amazon Prime show Fallout. And because you know me, I'm a very, very big fan of Fallout. Those were my thoughts, and thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.